This will bring us to the report history where I can just click on the customer mailing list and that will bring it up on the screen so I can take a look at it. Then what I can do is I can click on the very last page. Down at the bottom there's a last page icon because I just want to know how many customers are on my list. And that will give you a number at the very bottom left so you can see exactly how many customers are on your customer list. Easy as that. The other one that I was telling you about, if you just want to know, for example, if you want to know my top 100 customers, we can make this real simple. I can clear the criteria. I can do it in order of year-to-date purchases. I don't want all the details, so I'm going to check Wide Report. And then I'm going to go to Additional Customer Criteria at the bottom left. And where it says Only Include Top Number of Accounts, I'm going to put 100. And I'm going to click on Add Job and Run. This will bring us to our report history. I can click on the report, open it up, and this is going to give me my top 100 customers. So once we open it, if you go to the end, you see that this is 100 customers. If I go to the top, I'm going to be able to go to this first page, and in order from top to bottom, if you look at the year-to-date purchases, you'll see that it lists them in order of their year-to-date purchases from top to bottom, so you will see your top 100 customers in order of sales. The other type of report that I'm going to go over briefly is the customer analysis report. So if we click on Customer, Customer Reporting, and Customer Analysis, this will bring up our customer analysis report. So generally what people use this for, if I want to know where my customers are coming from, I want to see what zip codes are the most popular zip codes that are shopping in my store, I can do this customer analysis report and it will sort it by zip code and give me a lot of great information. The other thing that I can tell is more of a retention rate. Am I retaining my customers, and what is the retention rate percentage? So maybe I can look at, as of the purchases for this year, are those customers that made a purchase last year and the year before, what is my retention rate? So this is where you're going to come to do those types of reports. And as you can see, when you go to group your data, you can do it by zip code, by state, year added, month year added, year of last sale, month of year of last sale. So if you're going to do the retention rate, I would do the year added. And then we can put in the actual date range. If you want to look at your purchases for this year, then you can go to the detail criteria and you can actually go to what period you want to find any sale. And if you wanted to look at this year, so far year to date, you could select year to date so it looks at any of your customers that have made a purchase this year, and it will list this year and the previous year so you can see that retention rate. So pretty similar as far as the criteria in this report, comparing it to the customer list report. It just gives you more of an idea of the zip codes, where they're coming from, and more of the retention rate. The other things in the customer reporting that you can do, there is a customer family list report. There are specific reports for customers for special orders, layaways, house payments and charges, store credits, a birthday report. So any of those types of reports that you can do. You can do your own mailing labels if you're sending out a mailer as well. Once you click on this, it has the same criteria that the customer list has. It's just that you can do mailing labels on your own if you need to. So those are all of the reports that have to do with customers. Now we're going to talk about exporting data. To get to the place where you can export customer information out, you're going to click on Reporting, and you're going to click on Data Export. You're going to see Export Customer Email. So if you wanted to have someone else do an email blaster for you, you can click on Export Customer Email, and that will export all of your emails out, or the criteria that you choose. So whenever we click on this Export Customer Email, you'll see the same type of options as you do when you're running the customer list report. And you'll see that it automatically goes to Excel for the output method. So if you want all of your emails, then you can just clear criteria and add job and run. If you want to do it based on certain criteria, then that's where you can select things under your additional customer criteria, your detail criteria, if you only want certain things. Like if you're only sending an emailer out to people who have purchased New Balance, then you want to go to detail criteria and only select New Balance, so this email will only go out to your New Balance customers. And we recommend using companies like Constant Contact, where they can do the email blaster for you. They can track it, so you can tell, how many people are actually opening up the emails. You don't have to worry about the spam, because you don't want to go doing it on your own and sending out, hundreds of emails on your own without using a protective program, something like Constant Contact. You can also use this export customer email if you have someone that is sending a mailer out, maybe not an email, but they are sending out postcards for you on a specific promotion that you're doing. You can use the same screen and we can export this file out and just email that file to whoever's doing your mailer. And they can have that file and they'll have all the information there. So once we do the add job and run, we'll be able to open up the actual email. It comes up in Excel, so you'll see it'll show the account number, the customer name, first name, last name, address, and then if we scroll over to the right, you'll see the email. So you can always manipulate this. You can delete certain columns. If you only want the emails to show up here, then you can delete all these other columns and just have, for this example, column L in this when you email this to whoever's doing the emailer for you. And then I could, if I have this file ready and I'm having somebody else do it, I can at the top click on email and my email program comes up and it will just attach this particular file right to it. And then you can send it off, have whoever is doing your email blaster for you, and they'll have the file, see how it's attached here, and it's ready to go. So really easy to do that once you have it how you want. So that's the email part. There's also export customer all, and again, like the customer list report comes up, you'll have that same criteria when you go into the screen. Export customer purchase totals, just the purchase totals. And then we have export customer purchase details. So purchase details, customer all, purchase totals, and customer email. And you'll see these as I pull them up. So if you just want the customer purchase totals, if you run it, it has the same type of information and it will tell you what their customer totals are. Their year-to-date dollars, quantities, total-to-date dollar, quantity, last year dollars, and quantity. So that's the customer purchase totals. And again, you can delete whatever columns that you want, resort it, do what you want there. Then we have export customer all. And what this gives you is the account number, customer name, first name, last name, their address, email, you got your city, state, zip email. Again, you have your year-to-date totals, your total-to-date totals, your last year for both the dollars and the quantity. And then the other one that we have is export customer purchase details. This has all of their purchase history. So you can tell exactly the SKU number that they purchased, the size that they purchased, the width. You'll see the salesperson in the store, the ticket, transaction, original ticket number, quantity. You'll get a lot of information on this screen, and that's all the customer purchase detail. Again, you can manipulate it, delete what columns that you want, resort it. But those are ways that you can export your customer information out and do with it what you need to. The key thing in all of this is getting your customers on your customer list. However you need to do it, whether you have a frequent buyer program where you try to get them to come back in your store, whether it's a program through Rick's where you have, buy 5, get the 6 half price, or they spend a certain dollar amount and get a certain dollar amount off. That helps bring them back in the store. That helps get them to give you their customer information. And you can keep track of all their purchases. So you'll know at any point in time what they purchased. You can bring their customer purchase history up. You can look at any receipt, any ticket that you've rung up for them and see everything on that ticket. A lot of things that you can do and keep track of for that customer. The common way is at the point of sale. When you ring that customer up, you can enter their information at the POS, their phone number. If they absolutely don't want to give you the phone number, we do have an auto generate. And what I'm looking at back here, this is not the POS, but this is the back area, the back part of Rick's Enterprise. So you can always come into this manage customer. So customer, customer, and then manage customer, and that gets you into this screen. So if you ever need to change something, address, phone number, add an email, you can not only do it at the POS, but you could do it back here as well. And again, if they don't want to give you the phone number but want to be on your customer list, we have this auto generate number where we will generate a number for you. And you can put all this information in, the title, first name, middle initial, last name, whether they're junior, senior, second. You can keep track of that. Their full name, their gender, their address, whether on the Frequent Buyer program or not, their email address, any additional phone numbers, any additional comments that you need to keep track of. And this has all of their Frequent Buyer information if you have a Frequent Buyer program. Their birth date, and then you can also put alert messages on that customer. So every time you bring that customer up on the screen, that will pop up for the cashier when they're ringing them out. So you can manage that information back here. You can manage it out on the front at the POS. On the back, you can have a mailing address or a billing address. You can do family members, attach kids onto this account through the child relationships and keep track of birthdays. And if it's hard to stand there while the customer is there and type that information in at that time, we recommend having a counter form that you keep up front. And really all you have to do when you're ringing up the customer is just at least put their account number in and maybe their first and last name. You don't have to spend the time to type in all this other information. But what you can do is you can have these counter forms. This is just a Word document. You can create it how you want, and you can have them fill this out. Once they fill this out, as you're gathering their information and scanning their items, you can put in their account number and you can put in their name, fill in the rest later, but you'll have this later. So all you'll have to do after you're done with the sale when you're not busy is pull up their account number and type in the rest of the information here. Give them a reason to fill this out to come in your store. Whether it's a special club that you offer or a frequent buyer program, or just keeping track of their purchases if they ever need to know, we have that information for you. So this is a good suggestion to have at each store. Just have these forms where they can fill out, and when you're ringing them out, all you have to do is put their account number and name, and you can fill out the rest later, because you have to put in something to be able to attach their purchases to that account number. This webinar will remain on your Rick's Enterprise, so you can always access any of the webinars from the home page. You can just click on the video library and you will see a list of all of the webinars. So you'll be able to select any of those webinars. You will see the Customer Relationship Management webinar listed there, where you or your employees can view this at any point in time. So you'll see the video library and it will have all of the webinars that we do here. So if you ever have any suggestions on any other topics, feel free to let us know and we can do those live webinars for you and then have the recordings later. Thank you.